always is. Woo! Is there a line waiting now? I don't know. Was there the Cardi B concert?
There was. Yeah, there was definitely a line. Not quite the Cardi B line, but.
All right. Hello and welcome to the PTZOptics live show, NAB Day 1. We have our lead engineer, Matthew Davis.
Hello, everybody.
And Andrew Cross from NewTek.
Dr. Andrew Cross.
Dr. Andrew Cross. And today we're going to do a little interview with Andrew. He has released quite a few new things, and Matt has been working closely with Andrew to integrate the NewTek NDI into our cameras.
Absolutely. I mean, Matt and I talk almost every day on Skype. Although I've got to say, Matt gets up earlier in the mornings than I do. Because
doesn't he?
Yeah, I get up and I get up and before I leave the house, I'm saying I've already got Skypes from him.
And I do apologize. Sometimes the ideas are running, and I just can't stop it.
Don't apologize. It's awesome. I get up and there's this cool stuff there. It's awesome, actually.
He has something waiting for him in his inbox each morning.
Skype right there.
So one of the things, first questions I wanted to talk about for both of you guys, and the way we have these microphones set up, you got to keep it really close to your mouth for them to hear you. NDI HX, Matt, that was kind of, both of you guys kind of worked on that together, and that's one of the things I wanted to start with because it's not full NDI, it's different. I wanted to ask about some of the benefits and the differences, just so that people I know that people have questions about that.
Well, I can at least talk about the ways NDI HX is definitely different than NDI, and some of the benefits that I see, but that's just based on the markets that I see us working in. So the lower bandwidth is really the mega benefit that I see. So with that, I can do a lot more with how I route video across a network when I'm not consuming a large amount of bandwidth. Outside of that, NDI moves into higher end archival. You get so much color depth. You get all these extra things, but it depends on what you're using the content for. Really, how is it going to be consumed? That's kind of what would determine one or the other, I'd say.
Yes, we went down this route with the NDI HX, and I wanted to ask you kind of like what you're seeing out there, and now that it's been out for more than a year now, right?
Well, I just wanted to add a tiny bit to what Matt said, because I actually think NDI HX is more than just bandwidth. I do think that the bandwidth is clearly a factor, but you have to think about when you're building a camera like yours, you have to think about what can we put into something it can actually process, and if it requires a gigabit of data per stream, it's just never going to work. So HX is as much about being able to make this accessible and something that can be got out to consumers and something that doesn't take 100 watts and catch fire as anything else, and you shouldn't underestimate those things. So it's a great trade-off between being able to make it accessible, using bandwidth that is available to people today, and getting it to the end user. And one other, and I've got to say, I believe that in many ways HX is going to become more important, not less, because the end game here, and one of the most exciting things about IP is that it connects every device in the world, not just every device on your local network. And so as you go outside your local network, which is something that we're definitely going to be working on, that bandwidth really matters far more. And so this, ultimately, kind of my dream is that any device in the world can see any other device in the world. And things like HX are absolutely required to achieve something like that. So I think that HX ultimately is actually really much more important than maybe it's certainly not just bandwidth. It solves so many other problems that are as important as that.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to ask a little bit. I want to throw this back to you then, Matt, because I want to go back and forth because we've got the two guys here who really kind of helped us develop this. Can't believe how many customers are using the NDI HX cameras.
Absolutely.
It really seems to be the go-to, at least with the products that we sell. It's been very interesting how rapidly the customers have been adopting the NDI HX. I want to ask about what Andrew said about connecting to cameras anywhere in the world. Because you and I talk a lot as well, and you've mentioned some of the things. Can we talk a little bit about the cameras and how people can control them from anywhere in the world? And I know that's something that's really bleeding edge and new, but can you tell me a little bit about your thoughts there?
So while the topic itself is new, the concept is anything but new. People wanting to remote control things around the world is, probably as long as we've been humans, we've wanted to control things that are not directly near us. So what goes on here is we've got this opportunity where you can start to try and push some of the old techs of like a general static IP for an external camera, but now you're at the mercy of the public internet. Then to go with more dedicated solutions, you're paying a lot of money. So what's really interesting with NDI in particular is you've now got this way to ensure the quality of video that's going to be routed around the globe and the ways that you can actually interact with it. So it really starts to change, not just I'm crossing my fingers, I hope this is going to work, or I'm plunking down a ton of money to make it work. It's a way that you can do it affordably, finally, and in a way that will be reliable. Now, I think we're probably still at the beginning of this going on, but it's very exciting to finally see that horizon.
And I wanted to ask about the NDI 4.0. I don't know, from a high level, Andrew, if you can kind of just explain a little bit for people, because I know NDI HX plays a role in it.
Absolutely. NDI 4.0, I believe is one of the more important releases we've made, and at a number of levels. I think, so first of all, NDI 4.0 literally integrates NDI HX into NDI itself. And I should say, I need to just be clear, it integrates HX 2.0. So it would technically require some kind of firmware update that might or might not be immediate to do, but ultimately it makes it so that it is much easier to make cameras that fully integrate with NDI. And I'm sure that we're going to be working with people like yourselves to make that possible. But when they do, now instead of that, they are using all the benefits of the NDI transport between the camera and the computer system, and there's a huge number of benefits that come from that, like all of our UDP with forwards error correction, our discovery servers, all of this stuff will just then automatically work, which is a big benefit. So HX is now integrated into NDI 4, and it's something we should have done at the beginning. But unfortunately, we only have so many hours in the day, and we wanted, we thought it was more important to get this out and to use its hands and, really start making it usable. But, some of the other things we've done in NDI, and I know that not a lot of people are thinking about this yet, but we have integrated native recording into NDI, and I actually think that is really big, because when you have a bunch of cameras, unless you can afford to have them gen-locked, which most people can't, doing multicam editing is very difficult, and you can do it, but it involves a lot of extra work because not all the cameras run at the exact same rate. So even if you could record them all, you can't just drop them into an NLE and then edit them. You have to go in and sync them all up, and to me that makes it's such a shame we're here where cameras from people like yourselves are totally affordable. People can easily put multiple into an installation, but doing something truly useful with them is actually really difficult. So live switchers like vMix and TriCast and so on can, but a lot of people want to take it and edit it, and that is still a very difficult process. But we're making it so that that we can record all of these streams to disk, and they are fully synchronized there, which means that you can then take them and put them into a nonlinear editor. And so I think that's actually, now if you thought IP, everybody was thinking about it in the live space, but I think it's as applicable to the non-live space. And so now it's not just about live, it's also about nonlinear, and that's going to open up a whole load of new doors. And so I think that is something that's quite groundbreaking in NDI 4, and so while a lot of the IP standards are still working out how to make live right, I'm really starting to think, how do we make this really impact the whole world of video and not just one piece of it? And then we've done a whole bunch of other stuff. We've got an Unreal plugin, so that, and
I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, so, Unreal Engine has almost become the de facto real-time rendering engine. And I'm just holding back from saying, well, this is just great because you go out and create virtual sets and augmented reality, which you absolutely will. But in my experience, is opening things like this up to something like Unreal is going to make for all sorts of ways that these things can be used that nobody's really thinking about now. So that's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see what people do with it. And then there's a whole laundry list of other stuff. But I think NDI 4, it's been a lot of work. We've got full 16-bit support, which means you have higher color precision. So it's kind of funny how everybody started off thinking, well, this whole NDI thing. Not quite as good as SDI, but now it's actually better than SDI. It's got better color precision. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's when you build it on top of computers, you build it on top of computer networks and software. That is ultimately what's going to happen. Is you can make these changes, and ultimately you aren't stuck into a standard that was invented 40 years ago, which is what it is. So NDI 4's been a lot of work, but it's quite exciting.
I can imagine.
I'm a big fan of all the integrations, and I guess the way that you built NDI from the beginning, what made it open for software engineers to build NDI support
Which has been amazing.
One of my favorite integrations is Open Broadcaster software, and I understand that wasn't even developed by this is an open source platform, so someone actually went out and built that for, I'm thinking, millions and millions of users.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's so cool to see that. And Ben from the OBS project was actually at our event yesterday.
Really?
So, yeah,
I wish I would have met him.
They're great guys. They really are. We work closely with the OBS guys. They're great guys, and we support them.
Who are they, actually? Because it's open source, I've always sort of wondered, who are the main people working on that?
Well, the two main guys.
Okay.
I mean, they're amazing. There's Jim and Ben, and they are the OBS project, and there's a lot of other people who work on it. And it's become something that's just huge beyond probably what they and anybody else expected, but exciting project. But the other day I got an email for somebody saying, okay, I think it was GStreamer. Is there NDI for GStreamer support? And, I'd not thought about that. So I actually did a web search, just like GStreamer NDI. It turns out somebody's gone and implemented it. I had no idea. I'll tell you one of the other...
That's permitted?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's encouraged. It's not just. We want that. We want that because if you start to connect all these pieces, it becomes much more than the sum of the whole. I'll tell you another project that blew me away that I don't think anybody is understanding the true value of, and I discovered it by mistake. It's a project called Grandiose, where NDI is the GRA NDI EOS. So Grandiose, really cool name by the way.
That's clever.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And they made Node.js support for NDI. Clever idea because, everybody building web apps and so on then can get full NDI integration, and then you can build it into things. I'm sorry, I'm an engineer, but things like Electron, which is, the big up-and-coming way to design UIs, that automatically gets NDI support. That is a really cool project and a really cool idea. I wish I'd thought of it. I would have put it in the SDK in version 1. Really cool idea.
Isn't that what people say about NDI?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that, and I want to kind of bring it over to Matt. I don't know if you know, Matt's been working with GitHub a lot, and he actually has published a Node.js open source platform for our cameras. And it's been interesting to open that up, and we're seeing students who are submitting code, and I don't use GitHub, but they're doing pull requests, creating branching, forking of things that Matt has created. And this reminds you, because you're the Node.js project, cloud is very interesting.
Yeah, Andrew was kind enough to put us in touch with Grandiose. So we've been chatting with them, and we're going to try and work to get some of their projects live as part of our educational resources.
That's great.
I've got to say, I need to say what you're doing with getting this out to education is so cool. What a cool idea. I think that is very true to our spirit as a company. Love seeing you guys doing this, getting kids engaged in this, getting other people think about. That's how we build the next generation of videographers. It's fun. It gives them something. We have these great stories of. At our panel, there was somebody talking yesterday. He was giving a practical example. It was a school teacher, and he was saying how, he had kids who they're just not vocal. They aren't, and then you put them in front of a camera and you teach them how to present to people, and it just changes who they are. And seeing that kind of thing, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And I love what you guys are doing with this. That's so amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, and Matt I think, has been doing a lot with the computer programming, but it's interesting in broadcast how, whether you're interested in graphics or design, there's so many roles that students can play. One that I'm really interested in is the Adobe play. That we talked about it last year, but more things have come out since then. I love Adobe, and students are being taught it in school. There's no reason to fight it. And you've built NDI this has been for a few years now. Are there any stories you can tell us about? There's Adobe After Effects, there's Premiere, there's more than that even.
Oh, it's used by, you wouldn't even imagine how many. I get emails and I probably would get, there's going to be a black helicopter that comes down here. But I've had emails from the largest production houses in the world, and I truly mean that. Say that I had no idea that they would, ever be considered, and saying, oh yeah, we're using NDI as, preview so that our After Effects artists can have it up in the next room on a monitor. I never thought about it. Never would have guessed that people like that are using it. So, it's being used beyond anything we would have imagined. And the Adobe guys themselves with Character Animator are strong proponents of NDI. They're bugging me daily about the things I need to add to it for them, and they're right.
I love that product too.
Yeah,
I think that's going to make animation.
Absolutely, it's a fun project. So yes, and now here we're going to be making this NDI plugin. I shouldn't say that. It takes the files. We're giving recording away, so we're actually going to make a plugin for Adobe CC that allows our native files to be read by Adobe CC. Make that available to everybody. So
I wanted to ask you a little bit more high level. I was at your presentation last night. It was really impressive. A lot of chatter, a lot of excitement. You mentioned that there's really two different types of shows. There's the show that's scripted, where there's teleprompters, and then there's shows more like this per se, but also live sports and things that's live in nature. You don't know what's going to happen. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the show side of it. The live streaming side, I know you live stream sports, you live stream. What about the show side of things where the teleprompter's needed? There was a lot of interesting things you were talking about where NDI is making it easier to have a scripted show that's highly professional.
So, what I was talking about there was that, and quite honestly, shows like this are often very partially scripted. So normally, it would certainly in a TV station, even on interviews, you will have, the presenter will have the introduction and so on, the bio and so on. I mean, you guys don't need it because we know each other, but a lot of that stuff will go onto a teleprompter, and then it'll have inserts for where people need to, I see it as two categories of shows. You have shows that are or are partially scripted, and by the way, another great example is in high schools. It's one of the great things is teaching kids how to build a show because it teaches them how to present things, how to make an introduction.
The public speaking portion
absolutely.
of it.
And so, it's very common that, my kids, they'll go to school and they will write out, a show. And so, one of the things that I think as an industry we have missed is this link between they'll build a show and they'll present the show. And so we've been looking very much to how do you, companies like ourselves come here and, tell everybody, well, you sit there on a switcher and you punch buttons. But that's not the natural way to do it at all. I think that the natural way would be to take the script as it was written, and that becomes your show. And I think, with AI to understand what the text, with, products like Word, where a lot of things can get tagged, you can make it so that literally you can go from script to producing the show. And if you think then that with a teleprompter, you control the speed, you can actually completely control the show. So go straight from, kind of Word document or Google Docs, straight right the way through to production. And so that's something we've been doing, here to try to make it easier to produce those kind of shows. The other end of the spectrum, you have the totally unpredictable ones, which are sports, which I've been trying to work out a way to predict. Because if we could do that, we're in the wrong business. Let's go and bet on it. And there, we're looking to making things like the replay, all of that easier. And so, we're doing we're certainly trying to take a step back and work out how to make a lot of this easier and more accessible, and we will continue to do that.
The accessibility is really incredible. I don't know if we're going over our time limit. Looks like we have a little bit of time left.
We can make some extra time.
How about we let Matt talk? I want to ask you, Matt, a little bit of looking into the future. I know that there are things that you can't say. Matt works on projects that can take 2 years. But
sure, you're
I'm
familiar
so glad
with
that you guys have been working together for years now. So that some of the things that you guys have been working on are starting to come together. Is there anything that you can talk about that you're really excited about where you two are working together? Is there anything that isn't top secret?
We want the juice. Come on.
I'll tell you this. I think that
he might have a better answer than I do.
Here's what I would say is I would think that something I think Matt and I are both excited about is when you look at some of the advances that have been made in computing in regards to, so you've got an iPhone here, we've all got iPhones. These have really pushed the envelopes of using processors to process what's coming off a relatively poor sensor, quite honestly. The sensors in phones and the lenses in phones are relatively weak, and yet they can take amazing-looking photos and amazing-looking video. And somebody needs to bring this technology to the production world. And I know that Matt and I have talked a great deal about how we can work together to start to look at, how we can use that to really push what is being done in the production world with real cameras. Because I think there's some really exciting things to be done there. And it's difficult because, you're definitely talking about neural networks and AI and, things that are still pretty difficult to do at a production level on computers. But I think that is ultimately going to revolutionize the way cameras work. And I think there's some really exciting things to be done there.
I think that's summed it up very well without saying too much.
Yeah, we have to keep our lips sealed, but what I will say is I'll do my marketing stunt here. Don't forget to subscribe because I am going to get some of the information out of these guys. If you're at the show floor, Matt does have a coming soon section that we're allowed to show some people, but we are not talking about it, let's say. I probably shouldn't have even said that. So, top secret stuff from two of the smartest people at the show floor. Thanks for coming, Andrew.
Thank you. It's always my pleasure. We just love what you guys do. We really do. Love it.
All right. You too, Matt. Thanks for getting on camera.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul, for having me.
And we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, I believe. So hello to everybody in the chat. You just saw us speaking with Dr. Andrew Cross of NewTek. And we're moving on. We're going to be doing a giveaway shortly, so stay tuned for that. We have not done the giveaway drawing yet, so we are about to do that before we bring on our next guest, which is Magewell. We'll see you in a few minutes. Oh, thank you so much, Andrew.
Okay, audio's on. Hello and welcome to the PTZOptics live show.
We are back for our next round of interviews. We have a very special guest with us here. We have Amy of Magewell, I say. Do you say Magewell?
Yeah, Magewell.
It's a well-known debate in our user group and in our chat, so I always want to clarify that.
Yes. They always bring a bunch of toys, so I'm super excited. Today is day one at the NAB show. We're here at our booth in Central Hall, C3326, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to start with? She brought all the toys. Magewell is a company that many of us, including us, use all the time. We're using their PCIe cards right now in this broadcast. The thing I love about Magewell, I'm not a Magewell fanboy, but it always
Yes, you are.
works.
Thank
I'm a
you.
Magewell fanboy. What can I say? Can we start with this?
Yes, sure.
Look at this. What is this? We're going to show a close-up in a second here. How many inputs are on that?
Well, actually, it's a dual-channel HDI 4K cards. You can see 8 interface, so you can either connect a quad-link or dual-link or single-link. So total dual-channel HDI 4K
I
cards
see. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 SDI channels
for one.
for one 4K.
Yes,
SDI.
absolutely.
Oh, gotcha. Wow. So 4K
That is wild.
over SDI. That is pretty incredible. One PCIe channel
Yes.
there. Love these cards. I'm glad you brought this. For those of you looking into 4K. But the belle of the ball, can we start over here to the decoder?
Yeah, sure.
So this is an NDI decoder.
Yes.
And I want to make sure I show this off correctly. There's an HDMI out and an SDI out, if I'm saying this correctly, and then a PoE
Correct.
NDI input
Correct.
on the front. So now you have to tell me about this product. It's
Sure.
coming out, and I see some buttons here even. And so can you toggle between NDI sources with that button?
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Actually, this is a standalone NDI, full NDI decoder. And you can grab the NDI on the network to play it out either by HDMI or SDI. And the
Awesome.
reason we have the on-device button is we want to make it really easy for users to use. So he can click the button to choose whatever NDI source he wants to display. And he can also click this button to choose the right output format for the signal.
Is this a new product as well?
Yes, this
Very
is the
cool.
new announcement before
Wow.
the NAB. And we want it to be a really easy to use and plug and play, because if you use a DHCP-based a network, then the IP address will be allocated automatically. So it's really easy to use, plug and play.
Awesome.
I love how everyone is using IP networking terminology today. You know, DHCP,
Okay.
IP connectivity, things of that nature, is new to Magewell in a way because, you know, these are the new NDI IP connected devices, but it's new to a lot of us, including PTZOptics. You know, we have a lot of NDI models.
Yeah.
I have to ask, will it work with a PTZOptics camera?
Dun, dun, dun.
I think it works with the PTZ cameras directly. I mean, you connect this whatever the encoder. We have an NDI encoder to connect with whatever PTZ cameras to generate it into NDI stream, a full bandwidth NDI.
So we've got some encoders and we've got some decoders. But before
Yes.
we leave the decoders, is this another decoder?
No, it's actually a new encoder, which is new. It's
Wow.
not formally announced yet, so it's the first show
New
to the
announcements.
public.
Brand new.
from
You
Magewell,
saw it here
always on
first.
this show.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe because we're breaking news here. What is this? I'm seeing an HDMI in and a PTZ
Yeah.
Tally?
Tally.
Yeah, actually, it's a simplified encoder, NDI encoder. Compared to this one, we don't have the loop out, so it's
just a less expensive
less
model of this.
expensive.
Let's show them together so we can show this off.
Close
We've
up.
got basically a economy model, if you will.
Value.
Yeah, I
A
say
value.
Model.
And we also have a SDI version available, which we
Do you?
haven't taken to the show, but it's available.
So this is brand new. It's power over Ethernet. And look at this product. I mean, they really do make a strong metal case. With these.
Durable.
These are really durable. There's so many customers who have had your frame grabbers for years, and they just
Yeah.
keep working. HDMI in, the ability to pass PTZ, which is really interesting,
Yes.
especially for cameras that don't support IP control.
And we also provided tally lights to work with this mini
Wow.
Ding 8, so you can see the tally lights.
Very cool.
Very cool. And then the difference between this and the model that you're holding now, is
Well-
that this has the HDMI loop through.
Yeah, and there's another amazing things that we would like to introduce to users is by a future update, firmware update, you can use this unit either as an encoder or a decoder.
Wow.
So you can configure it by the web UI to
see.
decode the full bandwidth NDI.
I'm glad you said that because I wouldn't have asked that question, but I was talking about someone about that yesterday. It's really great to be able to buy one unit, and whether you need it for decoding or encoding, you can do that. So that's
Yeah.
just for this model here.
And now it's
For
here.
the HDI, and actually we have 4 models with the Plus for HD and 4K. So all of them, the 4 models can function either as an encoder or a decoder. So if any users want to decode the 4K NDI stream, then it will be a best choice for them.
Okay, so these go up to 4K.
Yes.
So this
both of
4K
them?
in and out, right?
Yeah.
4K 60 or 4K 30?
4K 60
4K 60.
for HDMI.
Wow. And this unit right here can be either an encoder or a decoder. And that's one of the important things, I think, because, you know, a lot of people buy your products as like a tool. Goes in
Yeah.
the tool bag. I might use it as an encoder today. I might use it as a decoder tomorrow.
Yes.
A lot of functionality here.
That's going to be
great.
really nifty to have. Can you remind us what booth you guys are at for people who are at the show?
Yeah, we are at the South Upper Hall, 5724.
Okay, so people can kind of go and see these
Yeah.
products in use.
Yeah, actually, in our booth, we're setting up a Magewell bridge for NDI software. So
Yeah,
in order
can you
to
tell us about that?
yeah, in order to utilize the capture devices the user may already have, they can use that software to generate the NDI stream or decode NDI.
Wait a second. So this is a piece of software called the NDI bridge.
Yeah,
It's
Magewell
from
bridge
Magewell.
for NDI. Yes,
Is it a cost? How much is there a cost associated?
it's for free.
It's free?
Yes.
So is this announced at NAB? I've never heard of this.
Now drop the mic.
Actually,
Good catch.
Okay.
Yeah,
So wait,
actually
what's
we-
going on here? Tell us about this.
yeah, actually, we have planned it for a really long time because we know that the customer would like to make use of their devices, like the capture devices, no matter it's a capture card or capture dongles. So we are thinking of maybe it's a good idea for us to make such a software and to utilize our capture cards and our output cards to encode and decode the NDI stream. So that is the concept.
Wow. So this is just breaking news here for me. Any Magewell customer gets this software for free, and no matter what encoding device they have, is this just for Windows?
Just for Magewell device.
For
yeah.
Magewell
Yeah.
devices on Windows.
Yeah, on Windows.
No matter what you have, Windows computer, plug it in, not Gen 1, just Gen 2 models, can, with newer capture cards, can be. So basically, if you've got a computer, your Magewell card is
Yeah.
NDI compatible.
Yes. And you can
Wow.
also use our decoder or encoder to make any possibility.
Let me think about this for a second. So let's say I've got a Pro Capture SDI card I bought it a year ago, and I want it to be able, all those inputs to be able to NDI. Now I can pick up an encoder and receive any of those over my network using NDI, or decoder, sorry. So I
Yeah.
can decode those at a monitor in my church, in the lobby,
Yes.
in the cry room, in the different areas, and then I can go ahead and even decode video off of a PCIe card that has an output as well.
Yeah. It works
Wow.
with
I definitely think that's going to be used in a lot of different ways. That is
Yeah.
very incredible, Amy. Wow. Are we getting any questions in the chat room that we should answer?
We're getting a lot of hellos, and it's a shame because I'm just not sure if the Wi-Fi is completely supporting my chat room. So we might be looking at some different solutions for that later on in this week. But I'm sure that they're definitely receiving what the message is here.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, we've had, with any live broadcast, there's always a few
I think the first day
troubleshooting
at NAB.
technical issues.
It's when we figure out.
I already know a couple
Exactly,
things I'm
yes.
going to change for the next show.
But I'll tell you what, you've done a good job with the mic, holding
Yeah.
it up close, because that's
You've
definitely a
holding
big
it
one.
That's a big one. So that brings us to what else we should be talking about. Is there anything juicy you can tell us about Magewell that is coming out soon, or the roadmap, or what people can expect in the future?
well, I think
What are you excited about?
Well, I think the good thing is we have expanded our horizon from just the capture cards because we start as a company providing the capture cards.
Yes.
And now we have the compression like the ultra stream. We have the encoders. And now we moved into NDI, means we not only compress the video, but also we transmit it over IP. So because we think that video over IP is the new trend, it will bring all the possibilities not only to the broadcasting areas, but also the Pro AV. So we are very excited to find out the use case from different industries and different kinds of customers to feed our products. Like Paul said, we function like a tool. So we want our tools to be very easy to use and very reliable. And yes, so that is, I think, one of the basic goals of Magewell. And we would like to see more the products that enable the video over IP, or like we move to the 4K and 12G or 4K HDMI 2.0, that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
We do have a few questions here in the chat. David is asking how much latency on which device. I'm not sure. So I don't know if you can provide any input on that.
Well, I'll start with the NDI device because we think one of the advantages of our NDI encoder is the extremely low latency. So, the latency, a lot of factors will affect a lot of things will affect the latency. But from the video goes into our converter to it's ready to be transmitted over as NDI. It's like I think less than 15 milliseconds.
Less than 50 milliseconds.
Yeah, so the latency is rather
That's like
low.
less than SDI almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like folks in the chat are giving you kudos for making a two-way NDI device. They're very
Yeah, that's a
excited
big
about
deal.
that. What is the software that we were just talking about? That's another question.
What the software?
The software that we were just talking about. The
NDI
main,
bridge,
yeah.
so that's
Major bridge for NDI.
Excellent. And are any or all of these products shipping?
Well, for this two and another two, the HD version, the full version, they are shipping.
Okay.
With the decoder and firmware is yet to come.
Excellent.
And I think with this one, the TX, we call it Pro Convert HDMI TX and Pro Convert SDI TX. They are about to ship very soon.
Wonderful.
And with this RS, the decoder, I assume it's like 1 month or two.
Okay.
So I would say it's
Yeah,
very
with
soon.
NAB, sometimes we're announcing things, not quite shipping necessarily. So we
Always
know how
good to
that
clear that up.
is. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm so glad we got to talk about
I'm very
everything.
happy to be here again.
It's so much fun. You're going to be at the Streaming Idiots meetup on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Don't forget to tune in for
If
that.
you want to ask some more personal one-on-one questions about these products, she will be there. You can talk her ear off. Just kidding. Now we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm letting you guys know right now that I have access to the YouTube chat. So for those of you who are wanting to ask a question, make sure you're headed to the YouTube PTZOptics channel and that chat, because that's working for me. So we're about to announce a giveaway winner for NAB Day 1 PTZOptics giveaway, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, that's coming in just a moment. So thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you.
We
Thank
really
you, Cass
appreciate
and
having
Paul.
you. Thanks, Amy.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so now we got to figure out our giveaway. Today's giveaway is a Zcam, right?
It's up to you.
All right, yeah, 'cause we're doing a Zcam today, a 12x Zcam tomorrow, and then the PTZ on Wednesday, I think.
Yes. So what we need to do is pull up Gleam.
So we're going to pull up our giveaway. You have to be watching live in the chat to win the giveaway. And just let us know. I guess if you could join the YouTube chat, that might be helpful for us.
Yes, so that's another challenge.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out that too.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to need the winner to claim the prize in the YouTube chat. Okay, but good news is you don't have to have an account to watch on YouTube. So if you want to head to PTZOptics YouTube channel, that is where I'm going to have to announce the winner, and you'll have to claim your prize there. So I will give you guys a moment to hop over to YouTube if you're watching on Facebook or Twitch. I do apologize. Again,
So, of course, if
let's
our
head over to
producer-
YouTube to claim the prize.
If our producer didn't have enough jobs, we just give him one more on top of everything.
Yes.
But what he does is he logs into Gleam.io, which is our platform.
We might have to, because we're going to have, it's a new computer
Yeah.
by Eastern Shore Broadcasting. But we're going to have to go to the Google Drive and get the credentials.
Yeah.
Should I go back there?
Yeah, sure. You want to help him?
Yeah,
I'll talk
let
to
me help
Amy for just a little bit more. So one of the things I love about your product, Amy, is that whether it is used inside a computer to build a custom computer, or it's a dongle that's just being used outside of a computer to just plug in a camera or device, you must have customers all over the map, because you have these little dongles that convert HDMI to USB or SDI to USB, and those are being used in all kinds of scenarios where even video conferencing, where they just need to take a video source and make it available to a piece of software, right?
Yes, yes.
So your products are used with all kinds of different software.
Yes.
vMix, Wirecast, Livestream.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good idea. I didn't go back and forth. That's our audience is always so great when it comes to.
I'm going to sit next to Paul, my buddy,
There
so
we
that
go.
I guess don't have ping pong between us.
That's a good idea. Yeah, we Matt Davis and Andrew Cross on the last stream.
We did, but hey, that was a delicious sandwich.
Well, we did get him in there. I wasn't sure if Matt Davis was going to come, and we got him on, so that's always good.
It's always a special moment when he comes on. So we have given you guys some time. Hopefully you can head over to the YouTube channel because that is the chat I am monitoring.
Oh, is your mic on? Is it muted? Check. Are you hearing anything, Mike?
Hashtag technology.
Okay, here, you can take that one, I
So
guess.
we are about to announce a winner. I've given you guys some time to head over to the YouTube channel, PTZOptics YouTube channel.
All right, now, Tess is going to get the giveaway winner. Sorry, day one sometimes is a little bit bad, but we did get through our broadcast. We did a mobile broadcast this morning with LiveView, and we're doing our live broadcast now of our show, which is just 1 hour with a giveaway at the end. So just mentioning, of all the partners that you have at the show, can you talk about some of the people that you're working with besides PTZOptics? Anyone else?
I mean, in general.
There we go.
Okay. I'm sorry, Amy.
So you were back.
Okay. We're ready.
We're ready?
They're just waiting for the winner to be drawn.
All right. So much fun. I will say, if you've never been to, how many times have you been to the show, Amy?
I think it's my 4th time.
Wow.
Yeah, or 5th time. Yeah.
That's about the same for us, too. We've been coming here. I think this is our 5th year.
Bijan Alboya. Bijan
Bijan
Alboya.
Let us know if you're here.
Bijan, we are only able to accept you claiming your prize in the YouTube chat.
He's here. Congratulations.
Bijan, can you,
Did you see him in the chat?
yeah, that's what's difficult. Can maybe a portion of your email address that you entered with? Don't have to give away the whole thing, but a portion that would be recognizable to the email address that you did submit your giveaway entry for, and that would do it for us, because we do need some sort of verification to just make sure that you are who you say. I trust you, but one of those things.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I'm so excited that we were able to get through an awesome day.
And after this, we're headed to the main stage.
We're going to the main stage to do some
Hopefully there's some
interviews.
time for
In
some
fact,
food in
LinkedIn
between.
Live will be there.
Yep, we're going to be talking about LinkedIn Live.
All right. Well, congratulations, Bijan. I think we'll go with that. Is that cool?
I don't know, Paul.
We'll
I
let
haven't
it go.
received any other
All right.
comment.
Good. All right. Well, that's our show, everybody. Thank you so much for watching day one of NAB. Tomorrow, who do we have?
That we're doing after
they're coming-
this. So
okay.
we're not done, so stay tuned.
So stay tuned. We're going to take a quick
back
little
in a brief
break, and
moment
we'll be
here.
back in maybe 10, 20 minutes.
We'll be back in like 5 minutes.
5 minutes? They're here?
We're doing partner interviews right after this.
Okay. Sounds good. So we'll be back soon.
So then, why?
Hey everybody, we're back. We're going to do another drawing of the giveaway winner. So as soon as that giveaway drawing winner is here in the YouTube chat, just say hello. Michael is going to yell out that name, and I'll say it on the chat as well. We're going to draw another winner. So here we go. Thank you for tuning in and staying with us. We're going to re-pick a winner here. And you have to be in the live chat. Just say hello, and we'll see you in a minute. All right. The winner is being picked. What do we got, Mike? He's going to go ahead and put it in the chat. Can you tell me what it is? Here we go.
Pramoda Rajan.
Pramoda Rajan. Pramoda Rajan, are you here in the chat room to claim the prize? If not, we'll draw another winner.
In the YouTube chat.
Yes. Be in the YouTube chat.
Are you getting levels from this mic? Yeah. Is this mic just...
Okay.
Okay, Pramoda Rajan.
All right.
Remember, you must be present on the YouTube chat to claim the prize. PTZOptics YouTube channel. All right, looks like we can repick a winner.
Let's repick another
let's get a
winner.
winner here. We can do it.
Let's do it, guys. We can do it. Here we go. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, I know he was here.
Okay. Oh my gosh!
That's you? Brad
That's
won and he's
Brad.
here. Brad, look at
Congratulations.
here. He's here
Excellent.
and he won. Wow.
We were just talking about
Look at
that
that.
possibility earlier.
I'm here to see you guys, and now I won.
It makes
Oh
me so
my gosh.
happy.
Here, take it. I'm so glad. Here, take the microphone. I'm so happy you're here.
I'm happy to be here too.
Wow, that's
And you
great.
just won a camera.
You just won a
Yay.
free
Please,
camera.
now I don't have to buy one. Although I'm still going to buy the. Well, can I say it? The
No,
4K?
no.
I won't say it.
That's plenty.
All right, well, that's enough from you. Just
Thank you,
kidding.
guys. Thank you so
No, I'm
much.
so glad you won.
Absolutely.
So we'll email you all the information, and
Just talking about him getting started
I'm
with
just
streaming.
messing with you. I'm not that. But that's it. So we'll come back to you guys with some more great interviews coming soon.
I love
Palm
it,
Meadow
somebody that's here
Tigers.
won. That's the
so
best.
great that
That's
you
always
won.
the
You're
best.
here.
Thank you so much. Love it, both
Thank
of
you,
you.
Brad. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. All right, we'll cut back soon when we have our interviews coming up.
Well, that's great.
All right.
Do we have ABS? The representative. Okay, Pat. Okay, why don't you get in the middle?
Okay.
Okay?
It helps the speaker lead his audience into the scene he describes by creating an imaginary picture. Usually it's something that moves. Character. So then, why?
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching this PTZOptics live stream from the NAB Day 1. We're going to wrap up this stream now because we are headed to the main NAB show stage where we're going to be interviewing LinkedIn. Talk about LinkedIn Live. It's going to be really fun, but we have to run now. Thank you so much for watching the show. We will have a giveaway tomorrow at 2 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye, everybody.